Shalina Harris here with Every Cowboy Has a Story, and we have Jonathan Keller, who currently resides in Idaho. I met his dad at another rodeo, and he was just, he's talking about how his son is doing the true cowboy life. And he's from Tennessee and ended up in Idaho just cowboy. And so, how in the world did you go from Tennessee to Idaho?
Well, that's I work at with the Carpenters Union, and got it started traveling around. Went and worked in southeast Idaho, and really fell in love with the place, and just finally just got the chance to move out there.
Sweet. So, is it the people? Is it the setting? Because we think of Idaho, and like my daughter's been there, she said it's a lot of mountains
Yeah,
and a lot of potatoes.
a
So,
lot of potatoes and stuff. A lot of great people, real roomy. A lot of cow country and potatoes
sweet.
and just alfalfa and just regular farm and ranch life out there.
Awesome. So, you are, how old are you?
20,
26?
yeah, 26.
26. And you've ridden bulls,
Yeah,
bareback,
yeah,
and
saddle.
bronc.
Yeah.
What is your favorite?
Uh, my favorites in between bareback and saddle bronc. I like them both and stuff. I was a lot better in the bareback riding than I was in the saddle bronc.
So, for people that don't know, what's the difference in saddle bronc and bareback?
Well, in the saddle bronc, you have a saddle, you got rein you hold on to, and the bareback riding, it's pretty much a suitcase handle that you shove your hand in, and that's all you have to hang on with. It's just pure strength.
Wow. I think I could like hold on to the rope. I just don't think I want my hand like locked into something.
Yeah, I've gotten predicaments that way, hung up a couple of times
Yes.
and stuff in the
Yes.
bareback rigging.
So, did you grow up cowboying? Did you grow up riding bulls? What was that like?
Oh, it was fun. Dad, he got me started riding horses and stuff when I was real little. Dad got me in it. Of course, Dad rode bareback, saddle bronc bulls. He did it
Did it
all
all?
and stuff, and got me in it stuff. That third, I think it's third grade, fourth grade and stuff. I started getting on the little mini bulls and the old stock bulls that don't buck hardly no more, just and stuff on that. Then everything got me started in that way and everything on that.
So, I'm guessing, which I'm probably correct, your dad was a strong foundation
Oh yeah,
in the man you are today.
oh yeah,
Absolutely. And just, your character, there is a cowboy code of ethics.
there is.
What do you think stands out about the Cowboys?
That right there, cowboy it still takes a man's handshake
Yes.
and stuff. If a man shakes your hand, that's the old contract, and cowboys still live by that.
I love that. I tell my boys all the time, I said, when the parents come in, the dads come in, I said, shake their hand,
Yeah.
eye contact.
Uh-huh.
You meet somebody new, shake their hand, eye contact.
Yeah.
That's a bond that you're creating with
Yep.
one another. So, we travel like there are, I think, somewhere, there's over 2,000 contestants here, and we're all traveling together. There's not one person here out of all these people that wouldn't stop to help
Yeah.
somebody else. What is that the same, you think, like in the cattle industry
Oh, it is. A lot of it is.
and
Eh,
just, people who they look out for one
Oh,
another?
that's big, yeah.
Absolutely. When you think back to your childhood and your upbringing and the sleepless nights, the hard work, this is not an easy, glamorous lifestyle.
Oh, no,
This
it's
is,
not.
what do you think some of the hardest things you face? Just being a cowboy or just being a stock rider, just everyday life of living this.
Oh, it really, it's more of a carefree lifestyle, really, and stuff. That's when I was rodeoing. So of course I was working a 40-hour job at a factory and stuff when I turned 18, just out of high school
Yes.
and stuff. And it's one of them. Dad he was raised old school cowboy, which
Yes.
made me and stuff. And I tried to hold on to that old school cowboy, lifestyle, like, when Dad was hanging out with, riding with Harold Miller and all them other old hands. A lot of them guys, if they didn't ride and make the money, they didn't get to eat.
Yes,
So
yeah.
there's a lot of times that I would, even though that, I could go out and eat whatever else, a
Yeah.
lot of times I'd go, nope, I didn't make a good ride this ride, so I'd go, well, I'll eat breakfast or whatever
Yeah.
else. But yeah,
Yeah.
keep
Just to
that up.
keep that, because there is a lot to be said about the
Yeah,
old Cowboys.
yeah,
There
yeah, that's,
really is. First time we've made this trip out west several times.
yeah,
Thank goodness for my kids rodeoing, because we would not have
yeah,
made it. For the first time ever, I saw a cowboy on a horse, like while we're on the interstate
yeah,
traveling, and all you could see was, there wasn't a phone, there
yeah,
wasn't a home, there wasn't a nothing
mm-mm,
for like miles,
yeah,
stretches of miles, and he's just out there on his horse,
yeah,
checking cattle,
mm-hmm,
checking fence, doing his thing.
yeah,
Incredible,
yeah,
the freedom of that. And they can't call into the office.
nope,
Animals don't wait
nope.
at all. When What do you think is the strongest core strength, or the core that your dad instilled in you? The,
Just give it everything you got.
I love it. I love that. I met your dad, and
Yeah,
he's an incredible man. Like, they were getting ready to rodeo, and we were trying to get to a wedding, and I didn't have the time to like
yeah,
sit and talk to him. But in that short span of time, he told me, he said, "You really will." I said, "I'm getting a story. I got
yeah,
Austin's story." I said, "I'd love to get yours." He said, "You really need to get my boys." He would bypass his story just so you could tell yours. And to me, that says a lot. And sometimes we don't even know if we're like, did we make our parents proud?
yeah,
Did we do what you know, you wonder, are
yeah,
my parents proud of who I turned out to be?
yeah.
So knowing that your dad, he wanted to tell more about your story. What are you,
Oh yeah, that's,
true to form, true
yeah.
to who he is? What was most exciting or exhilarating about riding the rough stock?
Oh, just, where I rode bareback, it's just that and South Bronx, it's just you and the animal, just
Yes.
it's just one on one. Everything goes out the window as soon as you nod your head and stuff, and just focusing right there on.
Yes. I try to tell people all the time, they'll say, well, that bull, you're flanking it or whatever. If people would watch the animal, they would see that animal loves
Yeah,
the job that it's doing. Like, it literally, that, like a bull or bronc or whatever, they will buck, and you
hmm.
can tell that they
Oh yeah.
love it.
Well, that's what they're. We bred.
Yeah.
For generations of bred that, and like, don't matter if it's a bull or a bronc. Your broncs have more of a rodeo lifespan than what a bull does.
Yes.
They buck later than a bull does, because they buck it forward instead of right out pretty much
Yeah.
1 2 year olds. So they get bucked more, and even they work. Bucking horse only actually works 2 minutes of its whole career.
Wow.
8 seconds at a time of their whole
Yeah.
career, and that's going on the PRCA level. Is
Wow.
two minutes
Wow.
of their whole 20 something year bucking lifespan.
So you kind of had to take a step back from the rodeo lifestyle,
Yeah,
or just you getting to participate.
yeah.
What is that like?
Well, that's for Dad. He went off and military and stuff. Mom and Dad got their divorce and all that and stuff. I mean, it kind of what at that point, it was just one of them things. It is what it is.
Yeah.
No big and stuff. Then when I got back into it and stuff, I was about to graduate high school and stuff. I went up to Dad. I said, "I'm going to use your old bull rope." and Dad bought this bull rope in 1989. And he goes, and I used it when I was, like I said, third grade.
Do
He
you still
goes,
have it?
I do. I'm pretty sure I still have it.
Oh,
Either that
sweet.
or Ernie Treadway has it.
Sweet.
And I'll tell you the story on that one.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we, but he goes, no, you can have that old Bob Blackwood rigging. That thing was split, sitting on the front porch for years. So I got with he did go now. Everyone called him Uncle Mike, but Mike Moore was Southern Rough Stock Association, and got with them. Ended up, Dad's like, well, I ain't signing the release form because Mike made you do a release form until you're 21.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he go so Papa and stuff because of my car insurance and this and that had custody. Technical custody of me. So I made Papa sign it thinking I was going to rope or something.
Oh, no.
So, well, I done sent it in, sent my money in, whatever else. And I don't even think Dad even knows this.
He will now.
He will. But then I filled out the paperwork with Dad because he's like, you got to graduate. I said, I graduated. So he went up, signed the paperwork, traded Uncle Mike, that old Bob Blackwood rigging for the Dad's old 94 Barstow Standard that Mike still had in the horse trailer.
Oh,
So
my
I
gosh.
still got that rigging. And when I quit rodeoing and stuff, it was over there at Dad's house. Well, I sold it back from Daddy's sitting at my house.
Poor Dad.
And stuff, but that's it's sitting at the house because I was like, well, I might, since I'm out here, I might sneak it out of the house, sneak it out of the house in front of the wife.
Yeah. A wife has a tendency
Yeah.
to, like,
But yeah, so it's sitting at the house in Tennessee waiting for whatever I pack is coming with me.
So, you have a wife and you have an amazing little daughter right
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Awesome.
4. Yeah,
It's amazing how kids change
yeah,
who you are in life. And I always say my kids saved me from hell and jail.
yeah.
And that's just, Jesus saved my soul, but my
Yeah.
kids, they kept me in line.
Yeah.
And things that I might would have done wild and crazy, I'm like, better not, because who's
Yeah.
going to raise my kids?
Yeah.
So there's that responsibility.
Yeah,
And, you think about the sacrifice you make for that.
yeah,
And then you're reminded of the sacrifice your parents probably
Yeah.
made for you, and you don't even realize all
it,
that. Yeah. What, do you ever see yourself riding again? If you can get the rigging past the wife.
Oh no, my wife done threatened me with a divorce until I got back on and stuff. But no, that's no anymore. All I'm doing is just breaking horses and riding pin and
So
stuff.
you still get to ride.
Yeah,
You still get
and
that.
stuff. Yeah, and I ride pin for the Diamond T up here in Post, Oregon, and that's an 8-hour drive from where I'm at. So I go up there on the weekends after work. And stuff.
Cowboys drive a long way
We-
to do what they love.
we do.
Well, you
That's-
drove 5 hours today.
Yeah, I
to
know.
get here. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh yeah, I
That's
appreciate
an honor.
the honor of doing this.
Made my day. Like, it was something I needed.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming.
Oh yeah.
So when you think about the sacrifices that you're making for your family, and then you're reminded of the sacrifices that, like, your dad and your parents and your papa and Uncle Mike, all the other people's made
Yeah.
to get you where you are today,
Oh yeah.
what would you say to them? What would you say to your dad, your papa, your Uncle Mike? What
Oh,
would you want them to know if this was the last thing you ever said to them?
Just thanks for the knowledge and the opportunity
It's,
to learn cowboying
it's a lot.
and stuff. Well, that's Papa. He don't like a horse at all. But that's great, Papa. And
Yeah.
back then, logging and everything else,
Yeah.
all that stuff. He don't want to fool with a horse or nothing else. That's when I bought horses, Papa was fussing at me and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's talk about you. You know the legacy that these men have left in your life.
Yeah.
Don't quit.
Yeah.
True cowboying.
Yeah.
When people hear your name and they start telling stories about you, what do you want to be remembered by?
Oh, just just good hand.
A good hand. I like that, a good hand. There's a lot of honor and
Yeah,
respect in that.
yeah.
A lot. Is this a lifestyle? Now we know little girls are different than little boys. Is this a lifestyle you want for your daughter?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's great atmosphere, a lot of great folks out here and stuff. That and even I'm working ranch and stuff like the ranch that I work for up there. They got little. They have a guy that stays there ranch hand. Him and
Yeah.
his whole family, stay on the ranch
I love that.
and stuff. And they got a little girl around my daughter's age and stuff. And we drove up there, and I didn't call. I was like, hey, I should have called the guy to say, hey, I'm up here in Oregon.
Yes.
But it was one of them, we're going to Sister's Rodeo, and I was just showing her as we were driving by
Sweet.
and stuff.
So has she shown an interest yet in
Yeah,
the horses or riding? And
yeah, that's my wife took her to one of them, like little pony rides. But there's a horse I'm working on right now, and stuff. Still riding up over there in town and stuff for a guy, and his call it number 7, but they got a red horse called Ketchup, so she calls it mayonnaise.
catch up on it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
stuff,
right.
and she's over there petting it and helping me brush it down and all that.
I will say this: if you get a girl a horse, she will fall in love with that horse long before she does a boy.
Oh yeah, I know it.
But then once that boy comes along, it's a whole nother story. But what are some of the things that you think or that stand out to you about watching kids in rodeo, or even experiencing it for yourself, like responsibility, work ethic? What are things that you see?
It installs a lot of work ethic in kids, that and a lot of responsibility, especially with horses. Not much, rough stock side, it's a lot of training and everything else, but on you got feed the horse, clean the stalls. There's a lot of responsibility. Make sure they're watered, rolled up.
Yes, these kids here, they've worked all season.
Yeah,
Some of the kids, like Matthew, has his own leather business,
yeah,
just trying to. I kind of say it's like being a drug addict, because you're willing to work
yeah,
and do what needs to be done so you can get to rodeo.
yeah,
So, I don't think it. I just know that the kids, what would they do without it? And I know
yeah.
and I was going to ask you about this. When you quit riding, did you go through like a withdrawal?
Oh yeah, yeah. I did. That's I hung around for a few more rodeos, and I was like, I just gotta, I was like, I gotta step away, but and stuff, and that's when dad quit and stuff, and back then, once you quit and stuff, you wasn't, if you were seen at a rodeo, it was taboo,
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff, but that's not, and I, yeah, fully pulled myself.
Wow.
I had to pull myself away from it. And when I moved back up here when I moved up here to Idaho, I started getting back into it. Not, I'd go help, set arenas up, bleachers up, but I'd never stay for the rodeo. And
To
so,
go do the work.
yeah, I just go do the work, then I wouldn't ever go and stuff. But once I moved back out, I started going, I was like, oh, my hands, because when I do go, my hands itching to get back in that
Yes.
bareback rigging
Yeah.
and stuff. And everything, so.
I remember Jacob got hurt riding bulls,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd even said, buddy, just don't ride.
Yeah,
And he's like, Mama. I said, I'm not worried about the $65. He said, Mama, I can't turn out.
nope.
So I said, okay, do what you have to do. But he ended up getting hurt, and it was his last ride. And oftentimes, and then I look at Anna, she had a really good horse that she trained, and it was her last ride with that horse.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know when that last ride's going to be.
Nope.
To sit back, like I know Jacob went through the withdrawal, and I think it's like the adrenaline of everything. And when Anna couldn't ride her horse and she couldn't goat tie, she could have done it off another horse, but that was her horse.
Yeah.
There's a bond
Yeah,
there.
there is.
And you go through that withdrawal and you never think about, that was my last ride.
Yeah.
Did you know it was your last ride?
Yeah, that's my last ride. I was on Danny Hedrick's horse and stuff, and after I got off, there's a point in time when you know
Yeah.
and stuff. That's I had my left foot broke, and they put 6 plates and 14 screws in it. They pulled out 256 bone fragments, broke my big toe and the 2 toes next to it, and they took this is the cool part. So they took all the bone fragments, crushed it up into like powder, mixed my blood in there, did like a pottery, and replaced my 2 backbones, my pinky toe bone here and this bone, with the bone fragments. Yeah, and I had to sit on Dad's couch for 6 months. I called in and entered a rodeo and stuff. What it was is Blue Rome painted John and West. Boy ended up running out in front of it. Pushed the horse back, and my foot got caught right there at the gate, right there on that metal tubing, and bent it completely backwards and busted it all up. Well, I still had my cast on, entered up in the rodeo. They wouldn't let me ride because I still had the cast on.
Tell me you didn't go cut the cast off.
I went to cut it off, and they said, if you do that, you won't ride for us again. But, you know,
I figured you would be that one that would say, hey, buddy, yeah.
I had my knife out, I was going to cut it.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you can't, well, they were saying, well, you can't put a spur on there. So I got my spur out of my rigging bag and shoved it on there, and I tightened it. I said, I can fit a spur on there.
That's when you know you got it bad.
Well, you know, that's like, you know, Dad's broke bones, you know, riding. You know, that's, you know, and he still got to riding. You know, I don't know if you know him or not, Eugene Fowler, he's a rodeo clown now.
Yes,
I
know his name. I
Okay.
haven't met him yet, but he's on my
He'd be a
list.
good interview too.
I love
So,
that.
see, he had a cast on one and a moon boot on the other, and he still got to ride. You know, you know, like I said, you know, back then, you know,
Yeah.
even though it was, you know, the 90s and early 2000s, you know, that's still the old school cowboy was still where, you know, they got to ride. Now it's more athletes. You know, today is all nothing but, you know, they're more training athletes. You know, them boys were just getting on and just getting on, ride, and stuff. And that's how, you know, I was raised. And it's one of them. When I finally got my moon boot and stuff and got to wear a boot, I was allowed to walk on it an hour a day. I called in for the Knoxville County for the big state fair type deal for Tennessee.
Yeah.
I called in on Monday and I said, look, I get my boot back. I should know by Tuesday. I will call you back, but put my name down. I should have my moon boot off. So they wrote me in on the draw.
Oh, sweet.
Dad calls me because he seen my name on Facebook. And, did you call in for the rodeo? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Because I saw him sneak up there.
You know you're going to be incriminated now.
Oh,
right?
no. Dad knows this
Okay.
because then, so I go up, pay my entry fee. I walk back to the truck, go get my stuff out. Miss Stallings, John West's mama, calls me over the PA system. Jonathan Keller, I need you to come to the secretary stand. I go up there, yeah, Miss Stallings, everything all right? I need you to call your daddy. And I was like, I am over 18. I can ride if I want to, you know. She goes, you ain't right unless you call your daddy. So I called him. He goes, hello, hey, Dad, secretary wants to talk to you, and shoved the phone to him. And stuff. They sat there, and it felt like forever. I guarantee you, him and Miss Stallings talked for a good hour on the phone.
Lord.
And stuff. I'm walking around, Miss Stallings comes up. Daddy said you can ride, but if you get hurt again, you wasn't sitting on his couch. And stuff. And I said, all right. And got on there. I think it was 7-Eleven, a little black horse they had. Stuff got my rigging on there and got screwed down and stuff in that rigging. She's leaning. I was like, they're like, nod your head, get her off my foot. I just got, they finally got it off of me. There, she's kind of leaning on me, right on that bad foot too. I was like, finally got her off. She came out, and I spurred. Man, I spurred it real good. Didn't make the 8 or nothing, but I had,
Oh, good.
hair on the spurs, just right,
Yeah.
main hair on and stuff. Got off, called Dad. He goes, well, how does it feel? I said, it feels great to be back. That's all I could think of for, 6 months. Of course, I gained a lot of weight, too. Sitting on my tail for 6 months,
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it just feels great to be back. He goes, well, I figured that. How's your foot feel? Oh, it feels fine.
Right.
And stuff, yeah, but, yeah, that's like when that horse broke my foot. Never didn't feel it right there. First, never knew it was broke. And stuff came out, spurring. I was like, man, something feels weird and stuff. And pressed down, went to double grab, popped my hand out, got off. I was like, ooh, ran to the panels, climbed over the one so I couldn't get back down. Stuff. My buddy was there and he picked me up and carried me off and stuff.
Oh,
Couldn't get my boot off, so they're like, well, we're going to cut your boot. Yank out
No,
my
you're
boot.
not.
Shoved my foot in there, got it undone. They goes, it's broke. I said, well, I ain't got time for that. I got work on Monday.
Yeah. Yes. That song, Dear Rodeo.
No, yeah. That's a love story. That is a true love story.
Yeah. It's something.
It is.
We were sitting at church this morning.
Uh-huh.
I'd even thought I'd like it. I was like, I should have invited him to come early and go to church, and you made it.
Yeah.
Like in time for church. But I was sitting there, and we could see some of the Cowboys working in the back, and then you're just out in this great open,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking, this is living life.
Oh, yeah, that's one reason why I moved to Idaho. Real open country.
Yeah.
And stuff. I moved like 10 minutes outside of town. I have 2 neighbors, and the 2
Perfect.
neighbors I do have, both of them are elderly couple. Grandkids, and all their kids are in either Washington or Utah
Yeah.
and stuff. So they look after my place when I'm not there, just where I don't have everything ready yet. I don't have the house set up. I just got a shed built back there.
Yeah.
So I don't have no water, nothing like that. So I go up there on the weekends, a little bunkhouse or whatever. But, and stuff. So that's all I got. Other than that, it's cows and alfalfa all around me.
Perfect.
Yeah, but it's one of them. The town that I moved to has less than 1,000 people.
That is awesome.
Open room,
What do you miss most about getting to rodeo? That song Dear Rodeo, and you said it's a love story. What do you miss?
Oh, just the traveling and just the atmosphere.
I used to, when you have young kids, which you have one, so
Yeah.
you have an idea.
Oh, yeah.
I had 7, and I was like, God, do you know what you're doing? And now, going through this lifestyle,
Yeah.
I'm like, God, thank you for another year. Thank you for another opportunity. Thank you that we get to continue doing this. This is our heart. And if I could take what I feel inside
Yeah.
and just take it all out and physically give it to somebody else
Yeah.
so they could feel what I feel, it's a love story.
Yeah.
It's a love story for just everybody looking out for one another
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and, doing what it takes. Where do you see yourself in a week, 10 years, 5 years?
Just cowboying
I love that.
stuff. Might not be rodeoing no more, but still getting out, where I'm riding pin and stuff, I'm still got cattle I got to check on, fence.
So, training for rodeo events, because we have some people that are non-rodeo people, and they're like, well, why would you rope that calf? They don't understand that these kids, a majority of them, this isn't just a game or a sport. This is a lifestyle.
Well,
Everybody's waiting. You
Yeah.
got to brand the cattle. Like,
Yeah.
it's, what is that?
Oh, well, that's a lot of these kids. They're ranch kids, so
Yeah.
they're used to having calf get sick, or something. They got to be able to give that calf the shot that they need or whatever.
Yeah.
And the rope and the horses is your best friend
Yes.
and
Yes.
stuff. That's like the guys that I work with up there at the ranch. They're all a little bit older than me. They're in their 30s, but they got kids that are
Yes.
young and they're out there, helping drag calves in when it's branding time
Yes.
and whatever else going with them. And that's all their daddies do is nothing but cowboy.
Yes. I've said if all these kids, I think every kid should have an animal to take care of.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about a hamster that you throw some
No.
food to, an animal that depends on you. Like the girls, they're gone right now. Well, I
Yeah.
think they come back,
Yeah.
but they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to walk that horse and take care of it,
Yeah.
and that's a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
And they are. See, I think Emily's like 14, Delaney's 12, and Elizabeth's going to be 10. But they're caring for an animal that they have to be responsible for that, and it just adds a different. I think it gives you something different than just let me put some food in a bowl.
Yeah.
Like the dogs they're fine to
Yeah.
sit and lay content, but when you look at these kids and you see like at the crack of dawn, before dawn, these kids are out here riding and working these
Yeah.
horses. And I'm amazed. And even after seeing it for so many years, I'm in awe. I'm like, God, thank you for putting me, I had a prayer journal and it was put my kids and my family around people who bring out their best. And at this time I knew nothing about rodeo.
Yeah.
But I couldn't imagine not rodeoing. I'll probably be that grandparent that's like, I'll pay their entry fees. Let's just go to the rodeo. So I'm currently working on a book, and it's called "What It Takes to Be a World Champion." In your eyes, what does it take to be a world champion?
A lot of grit, a lot of trial, a lot of grit.
Yes, that's
And
awesome.
stuff.
You look at just the world champion, but then I started looking at, and today or the other day, I realized it's the volunteers.
Yeah.
It's the cowboy who's raising the steers
Yeah.
to, be brought here to be worked, and it takes so much more than what one person can
Yeah.
accomplish.
It does. That's stuff where I've worked with Hedrick Rodeo Company a whole bunch, and he has bucking horses. Got to go out and feed them.
Yes.
And stuff when their coach get them shoot broke. So, like when Dad rode. Back then they were trying to kill off.
Yeah.
Rough stock contestants. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
That's I've heard stories of horses like Walking Tall, Big and Little Scout, and all these are Ken Treadway horses and stuff. And the first time that I met Ken, I was up in Marshall, North Carolina for one of their. It was one of the 10, 4th of July, like their 50, 60, one of their big year deals. And I met Big Ken. I was up there with me and my wife and stuff, and called out. I said, "Hey, Big Ken's here. You want me to say hi?" He goes, "Yeah." So I walked up to Ken and I said, "Are you Ken Treadway?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm Ken Treadway." I said, "Hey, did you bring a Walking Tall?" Looked at me, how about Big Sky, Little Sky? He goes, "No." Johnny Ringo? He goes, "Son, you were too young to know them horses. Who the hell are you?" And stuff. I said, "Well, I don't know if you remember a cowboy from Tennessee, but named Daniel Keller." He goes, "Yeah, I remember him." I said, "Yeah, I'm his son." He pulls out the jaw and goes, "I got your horse." Holds it back up.
I love it.
I called Dad. I said, "Hey, Ken said hi," and stuff. I told him, like, "Hey, these are the horses and stuff." And told
Yeah.
I told him, I was telling you. Dad goes, "When are you gonna stop telling contractors who you are?"
I love it. Is there one animal that just stands out to you as far as like one you've ridden, one you've taken care of, just that one animal that you're like, man, you helped shape me into who I am today?
Oh man, Dad bought me this horse. It was called him Junior, little paint horse. He was a reining horse out at Gunner and stuff. Like I said, third grade or so and stuff. And he was a I think 2 or 4, I can't remember, but he was a young horse and stuff. And me, just grew up,
Yeah.
with him, Dad, helped finishing them out just a little bit what needed, me learning on them and stuff. That's one horse if I ever seen at a Selborne, and I would buy him right back. Don't care how old he was,
Yeah.
how old he is,
Just meant that much.
Yeah.
A lot of, you think cowboys are tough, rugged, and you can look at your hand and see it's a man's working hand.
Oh yeah.
But then when you look at the cowboy's heart,
Yeah.
it's as soft as butter.
Oh,
I think.
it is.
It comes down to those animals and daddy's girls and
Oh yeah.
living off land and the heritage
Yeah.
of everything. The sacrifice you're willing to live in a shed
Yeah.
to get to do what you want to do.
Oh yeah.
Do you know how much freedom comes with that?
Oh, it's a lot, but a lot of freedoms, a lot of responsibility at the same time.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, well, that's, I've spent 8 months out here in Idaho while my wife and little girls back in Tennessee. They came up to spend the summer, but
Sweet.
I got to, I'm trying to get the house built for them to move them out here.
Yes.
But it takes that sacrifice of me being away
Yeah,
for the longevity,
for the good of it all.
Yeah.
Now, do they love it out here?
Oh, yeah. They didn't want to go back. That and the humidity versus the dry heat out here.
Gosh, isn't this dry heat amazing?
It is. That's my little girl's all the time playing outside. You can't bring her in the house.
Good.
It's good luck. And she's been back, since Wednesday, and she's just now getting like, okay, I want to go outside and play outside.
Yeah. Well, you leave here and it's dry heat and like I don't even know what the temperature is, but like it's not bad.
No,
It's
I was about to
comfortable.
say it's probably about 80s, 84 or so right
But
now.
It's not bad at all, but you start traveling back east and you get out to get gas or something, you're
Yeah.
like, what in the world is
I know
this?
it.
What do you think are some of the hardships of being out here?
Just one really you got a low population of people.
Yeah.
That water's a big, really scarce thing,
Yeah.
once you get out here. So, like, if you buy property or whatever, you got to know where the water source is.
Okay. Right now you're talking to the young cowboy or that dad or a young kid that it is just in their heart.
Yeah.
They're longing to just get up and go. What would be your advice to them? To get up and live this lifestyle.
Do it. That's all it is to it. If your heart desires it, do it.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets of all the chances you take?
No, I've always,
Living life.
yeah.
Living life. I appreciate your time so much. This has been great. I've loved the stories. There were a ton of stories. And I want to know, like, this is your first time watching kids like this come and compete at the high school rodeo, so I'm going to want to know what your thoughts are on that.
I think it's amazing and great and stuff.
When you drove up to the Camplex and you started seeing all these barns and stalls and campers, like, I don't even know how much acreage or whatever we're on. What was your thoughts on that?
Just how big it is, and like just where I've been so remote with it's like I haven't seen this much people in 8 months at one time.
You're in this little remote, and then you come to the Harrises, and we were like busy. And
Oh yeah, like I said, the most people I got to deal with in a day is like 30 people.
Yeah.
Then I come out here, how many kids are out here?
There's
Like,
over 2,000
Yeah,
contestants here. I haven't looked up our stats yet.
yeah,
And so you figure each contestant is at least here with one,
One.
if not both.
yeah.
Some have grandma, grandpa,
grandpa. Oh,
brothers,
yeah.
sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess at some point we'll get all the check-in numbers today because check-in ended at like 7 this morning.
Yeah.
So we'll get our check-in numbers and everything. But here in a little bit, you're getting ready to go be sitting with about 3,000 or 4,000 people.
I know it, and I'm not. I'm just for living out on the range and ranches and stuff. I'm not used to that anymore.
Yeah, is it going to be hard to keep you from going down in? I mean, you are in dress code. Is it going to be hard to keep you from going down in?
It is. I went to a little high school pee wee rodeo they had up in where I live at Arco and stuff, and being one of the guys and stuff that brought me out to the Diamond T to come bring cattle and stuff with them. I was like, all right, dude, we got to go back. And so I was like, we're gonna go talk to the stock contractors or something because I can't stand being up on this.
Yes.
Well, I mean, people wasn't the problem,
yeah.
but it was, I just been so used to being back there.
Yes.
It's hard not to be because that's home.
Jacob couldn't even watch the bull riding.
Mm-mm.
Like he was injured, and that time, like he couldn't do anything. He was still in physical therapy, but